Technology is a magical co-pilot, and we all have to ask ourselves this question. Can you live in predictable unpredictability? This is the challenge that faces all of us today in this world of fast-moving technology. Well, I believe that all of us can, but it requires a blueprint. And this is a blueprint that I've been working on for the past year or so, and it's called The Path, and I'm going to share it with you today over the next 15 minutes. So the first thing is purpose, and we've heard a lot about purpose today, which I absolutely love, and a reminder of the risks that many of us face. In 2023, if you looked at the top risks, you saw the cost of living crisis, you saw natural disasters. And then in 2024, what changed? Well, the top risks in 2024, many of them have to do with artificial intelligence. In fact, everything you see up there in purple is connected to this world of AI. It's a totally different time, even in the past 12 months. So my first bit of advice in terms of purpose is this: follow the compassionate capitalism leaders. They exist everywhere around us, and they are the future of business. The second thing I want to talk about is AI adoption and trust building. I believe that those go hand in hand. When we speak about AI, we know that in terms of capabilities, we're going to see this doubling that happens every 6 months. So get ready for what's in store, because this is going to keep happening over and over again. We also know that when we look at the skills on the rise, we see tech skills. But what I find most interesting is we also see these human skills, creative thinking. We see curiosity, lifelong learning, motivation, self-awareness, all these things that make us uniquely human. Those are also important on this path. So one thing that people can actively do today within their organizations, no matter how small they are, is to launch an AI playground, this place, these tools that have been approved by your organization that you're starting to use to understand how you can increase productivity, which is clearly a growing issue, especially in this country today. In this world where all of a sudden we have generative content, one of the most important things is this: build trust. We just talked about this in terms of building trust in human relationships, but I also believe that you can build trust through knowledge and content and sharing and communicating. So let's talk for a second about this, something that I call the trust triangle. Consistency, transparency, and communication become absolutely critical in this age of artificial intelligence. These are the things that all of us have to do in this world when we're leveraging these new tools and technology as well. And why is that? Well, in a world that is increasingly digital, we know that the people who don't understand how to use the technology often fall behind. And we've seen that a lot over the past couple of years.
Mr. Ponton, I believe you have a filter turned on in the video setting. You might want to take a look.
Can you hear me, Judge?
I can hear you. I think it's a filter.
It is, and I don't know how to remove it. I thought my assistant was just trying to. I'm prepared to go forward with it. I'm here live. I'm not a cat.
So if someone tells you that technology doesn't matter in your business, you can show them this video over and over again. And we can all remind ourselves that this is especially true. The late futurist Alvin Toffler said the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. This is the time that we live in right now, and I certainly feel this on a daily basis. So my tip here is this: launch your P2 plan when it comes to AI adoption and trust. That is building an AI playground where people can play and use the tools that have been approved by your organization and have a policy in place to say this is how you can use these AI tools. It's as simple as that. And most organizations haven't even gotten this far. They're wondering, where do I even start on this AI path? This is a really solid starting point. Also, a recommendation of a book called Future Proof. This is one of the best books that I've read to really understand this age of automation, this idea of human and machine partnerships. More and more, we're all going to work alongside this technology, alongside machines, and have to understand how to operate in that environment. And the last thing that I want to mention in terms of this blueprint is health. And this is a topic that I recently added into my presentations, recognizing that more and more people have to think about health as really kind of the foundation of every single thing that we do. It is true that flexible work is the future. We're living that today. It's also true that workplace wellness is the foundation. Every leader in every business today has to think about the wellness of their team, or none of the other stuff that I talked about will work at all if your team isn't in a good place. More and more, we're seeing connected technologies that can help on this wellness path. We see Whoop Band, for example, which is a band that tracks all of your sleep, your exercise, your strain, has ChatGPT built into it. So if you say hey, I'm taking a flight in 2 days, I might have jet lag, what should I do between now and then in terms of the data that you have about me that can help me plan for that jet lag better? These are these advanced tools that are coming into play. Calm, which I'm sure you've heard of, wellness apps. And I mention these two because what's really interesting about these businesses that I've followed for a long time is many of them actually have corporate divisions now that actually deal with companies who are providing these tools to their employees, recognizing again the importance of wellness and that path as well. So the question again in terms of the times that we live in 2024 and this AI path that we're on is, can you live in predictable unpredictability? And my answer for you is absolutely yes. But you can't do it unless you have a blueprint in place. And this is something I call the path that I've just walked you through in 15 quick minutes: purpose, adaptation, trust, and health. With all of those pillars in mind, you will be much better off to be able to survive the chaos that is here today, but also what's coming tomorrow.